It's the regional record extending 950th episode of the Jim King of the TV show on Fox 4, the CW, Strike TV, and YouTube. And we're celebrating with a magnificent memories episode. Southeast Texas style. During the half hour, we'll gaze in the rear view at our first 18 years on Southeast Texas television.
And we'll find you a gig 7 nights a week. You don't have to go on the road anymore. You can stay right here in Beaumont.
If it pays good enough, I'll stay right here in Beaumont.
You'll pack out the Dixie Dance Hall, Starvin' Marvin's, Whiskey River. We'll have you everywhere.
That's the deal.
Come on! Once I was a funky singer. Come on!
Sponsored by Tanner West and Texas Construction Resources. We'll feature the Honky Tonk Texas Fabulous Flashback. We'll also wear Jim Stannard's new video as our King's Country Music Clip of the Week from Nashville. And Freddie Pate will be in the Royal Spotlight. King of the Road. Howdy, and welcome to the Jim King of the TV show on Fox 4, the CW, Strike TV, and YouTube. I'm Jim King of the Road, and this is the best little TV show in Texas. With this edition, we're celebrating another magnificent milestone for King of the Road Productions, our regional record extending 950th episode. We're extending our regional record for a local, independently produced, entertainment-based program. And make plans now to see legendary country supergroup Lone Star at the Lutcher Theater in Orange, Sunday, November 3rd. Purchase tickets now at lutcher.org. Of course, we play all of Lone Star's hits on King's Country Internet Radio. In less than 100 years, radio has come a long, long way. We've gone from this to this. Alexa, play King's Country on TuneIn.
King's Country from TuneIn.
And this. Now you can stream us everywhere. King's Country streams the most magnificent country music mix on the planet 24/7. Stream King's Country Internet Radio on your PC, smart speaker, mobile device, or in your vehicle with your Bluetooth connection. King's Country streaming worldwide and crystal clear on TuneIn, iTunes, Live 365, and at kingscountry.net. And don't miss the nationally recognized and multi-award-winning Jim King of the Radio show, middays on King's Country at kingscountry.net. It rules. Now ride shotgun with me as we gaze in the rear view with highlights from our first 18 years of broadcasting. We always cruise Cadillac style, as seen and heard on Southeast Texas TV, radio, and social media. We are everywhere. Man, how time flies when you're having a royal time. Can you believe that this is already our 950th episode? Enjoy these clips from our royal archives as we gaze in the rear view at our first 18 years on television.
Honky Tonk Texas! Honky Tonk Texas, everybody! Hey, I'm Jim King of the Road from Kicker 95.1 Radio, Fox 4 TV, KBTV, and the Examiner newspaper. Are y'all having a good time tonight? Everybody got a cold beer? Got a cold beer? Are y'all about ready for the big show? The man has had 21 number one hits. Teamed in a row. 3 Grammy nominations. He's the only country artist to ever be on Soul Train. Remember that Soul Train? 1986. He's a country music legend right here tonight at Honky Tonk, Texas. Earl Thomas Conley.
Oh, the hardest thing I've ever had to do is holding her and loving you.
Earl Thomas Conley, it's first I want to say it's a real honor and a pleasure to talk to you in person.
Appreciate it.
I'm a huge fan of your music, and I have been since the early 80s.
You're the reason I'm still here.
It's the regional record extending 950th episode of the Jim King of the TV show on Fox 4, the CW, Strike TV, and YouTube. Kentucky Headhunters, the Grammy Award-winning Kentucky Headhunters. I think it's your first time here at Honky Tonk, Texas.
I believe it is. As far as I know.
We're close to Beaumont, though, aren't we?
Yes, you have a lot of fans in Beaumont, thanks partly because of our TV show that we've featured you on so many times.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, last time we saw you was in Louisiana. It's probably 5-6 years ago, and you're like in our royal archives now.
Hey, man. Well, you're the king, man. You got that's the coolest cowboy hat I think it is, too.
I'm not a real king. I just play one on TV once a week.
Well, that's all right. That's another thing.
Or 3 times a week.
You ever wore that in a bar anywhere?
Yeah.
Did you ever get in trouble?
No. Can you believe I never got my ass kicked?
I can't believe it. If I was to put that on my head and walk in a bar with a cowboy hat on, they'd take me out.
In our case, we bought a home and he visited, but he rented it. And so we stayed in touch and involved with each other, the rest of his life. I have a little history with Beaumont. My parents invested in some oil wells in Beaumont when I was just a teenager, and we knew we were going to get oil rich, but it never happened. I don't know what happened, but I've never forgotten Beaumont. Anyway, good to talk to you, man. Congratulations on your success, and I like your crown. You've earned it.
It's really cool that you knew Elvis Presley. I'm standing next to a guy that knew Elvis. You've probably been to his home in Memphis.
I lived at Graceland for 7 years.
Did you really?
I sure did, yeah.
Was he still alive then? Or?
Oh, no, he was, very much so. I met Elvis when I was 15 years old at a skating rink. He took me under his arm, and we became friends. And matter of fact, he gave me my first tour bus. Just wrote a check.
1976.
Yeah. Hey, you've done your homework. And matter of fact, there's a song on my new album that I've done that is kind of an anthem, and it's a song called "The Day Elvis Died," and it's going to be a great record, I think. But no, I did a concert at Graceland back in July, and I'm scheduled to do another concert at Graceland this coming August. So, yeah, those were great years with Elvis.
What kind of guy was he?
Well, I asked him one day, I said, Elvis, how does it feel to be you? He said, you crazy? Feels great. He was just a guy like you or me, Jim, or anybody that's watching this. There was no ego.
This segment is sponsored by Tanner West and Texas Construction Resources.
Working hard from the sun up to the sundown. They can build it tall, they can tear it on down. They got the know-how, if you got the money.
We got off-road dump trucks, several Tracos, several dozers, several guys that are very capable of following the plan and getting it done right.
Hands of a working man built this town. Clear this timber and plow this ground.
Still to come, we'll air Jim Stannard's new video as our King's Country Music Clip of the Week from Nashville. We'll feature the Honky Tonk Texas Fabulous Flashback. And Freddie Pate will be in the Royal Spotlight. Next, we'll continue our gaze in the rear view at our first 18 years on television. Man, how time flies when you're having a royal time. It's the regional record extending 950th episode of the Jim King of the TV show.
Lone Star. Live. November 3rd, 7:30 p.m. Lutcher Theater. On sale now at lutcher.org.
Baby, I'm amazed by you.
Cruise to Larry's Old Time Trade Days in Winnie, the first weekend after the first Monday of every month. Larry's Old Time Trade Days, where you can find it here.
Our World Gym. Let's rock.
Since Tina Bean started 5-Star Feeds in Port Arthur over 22 years ago, it's become a friendly neighborhood feed store and much more. Kind of like the general store of the good old days.
I think so. I try to be like it used to be. When I was young, going to feed stores and everything, it's, when people come in here, I want them to feel like they're walking into my house, where they feel welcome. So we try to keep it like that.
5-Star Feeds in Port Arthur, Texas. It's the regional record extending 950th episode of the Jim King of the TV show on Fox 4, the CW, Strike TV, and YouTube. Enjoy these clips from our royal archives as we gaze in the rear view at our first 18 years on television.
Something was missing, was making me move, but all I ever needed was you.
It took some work, but we got Neil the Real McCoy in the fold this year for the Beaumont Boys Bash. We're so glad you're back here in Beaumont.
Thank you, Jim.
I'm officially here to officially make you a Beaumont boy.
Uh-oh.
And as your initiation, you can't leave Beaumont for the first month. You can't leave Jefferson County, and you have to perform 7 nights a week in Beaumont, Texas.
Is that right?
That's
Is
your
that all it
initiation.
takes?
Yeah, we'll find you a gig 7 nights a week. You don't have to go on the road anymore. You can stay right here in Beaumont.
If it pays good enough, I'll stay right here in Beaumont.
You'll pack out the Dixie Dance Hall, Starvin' Marvin's, Whiskey River. We'll have you everywhere.
All right, that's the deal.
Come on! Once I was a funky singer. Come on! Playing in a rock and roll band.
This house was it was really funky and sort of broken down, and my rent was virtually nothing. So we lived off of virtually nothing. I was there for 3 years before I ever got a phone, and the last day I was there, there had been this air conditioner that was sitting above my bed in my room, and we never even thought to plug it in because it was so busted up looking and stuff. Last day I was there, an old man came by and said, I used to live in this house. This is an old house. I said, yeah, I used to live in this house. Of course, we didn't have air conditioning back then, and I just decided not to even talk to him about that. So I let him walk through, and he walked off. I thought, you know what? I've never checked out the air conditioning. So I got a 2x4 and went over there, and I propped that air conditioner up. I went back around to my room, and I plugged it in. Boom! It just hung. It blew out cold as air. It's just like a refrigerator.
And did you suffer before then? Or?
It was hot as hell at that house. I mean, there's no wind a lot of times there in the Brazos Valley, right? I couldn't believe I spent all my time there at College Station, no AC, and I had it right there above my head. So there's the true Aggie joke right there.
Man, how time flies when you're having a royal time. It's the regional record extending 950th episode of the Jim King of the TV show.
Well, I like your hat. I wanted to compliment
I was going to ask you that because you made a comment 10 years ago. That's the last time we met. You meet so many people you don't remember, but I was wearing this hat. It was a different. It was one of the earlier versions.
Earlier versions, yeah.
It's kind of evolved a little bit.
I thought maybe you'd polished it up or something because it's got some whang to it.
Some new plastic up there, but
yeah.
I think the comment you made. I don't know if you remember this.
Okay. What was my comment?
You said, "Well, I think it looks a little funky."
Should not. That doesn't sound like that.
You said, I think you got to go with the hat or just with the crown, but I don't know about the two together.
Now that makes sense.
Yeah.
But since then I've loosened up a lot.
Yeah.
I'm more open to things.
You've seen it all now.
Yeah, I've seen it all, I tell you.
King of the Road.
Here comes this week's Honky Tonk Texas Fabulous Flashback. No plans to retire yet?
Oh, no, I don't know how to spell retire.
Yeah.
My role models in the age department are particularly one grandfather who lived to be 94, was still driving a bulldozer at 92, and he only learned to operate it when he got in his 50s sometime. So that's the way I'm conducting things. I hope to be able to go as that strong, that long.
So you might be having #1 hits when you're 80 or 90.
That'd be all right, sure.
Yeah.
Well, Moses and Aaron were in their 80s when they were dealing with Pharaoh, so it's, age is just a number.
King of the Road.
That was this week's Honky Tonk Texas Fabulous Flashback.
The Texas honky tonk. There's no place like home.
Since 2008, Honky Tonk Texas and Silsbee, Texas has featured a steady stream of the very best in local, regional, and national touring bands. Pack up your posse and boot scoot over to Honky Tonk Texas for great concerts, dancing, drinking, and dining. Of course, steak night is every Thursday, and don't forget about the Honky Tonk Grill. Visit them online at facebook.com/honkytonktx and at honkytonktexas.us. Honky Tonk Texas in Silsbee has been entertaining Southeast Texas since 2008. Where have you been?
Lone Star. Live. November 3rd, 7:30 p.m. Lutcher Theater. On sale now at lutcher.org.
Baby, I'm amazed by you.
Cruise to Larry's Old Time Trade Days in Winnie, the first weekend after the first Monday of every month. Larry's Old Time Trade Days, where you can find it here.
You turned red and that made me blue. Claimed the right, so I left you. I'm looking for a candidate, nominate somebody new. You turned red and that made me blue. King of the road.
Howdy, folks. Jim King of the TV and radio here with a special treat as we get closer to the election. Just next week. Wow, it's coming up fast. Got Jim Stannard here. He's got a great little tongue-in-cheek ditty. It's kind of a bluegrass tune. He's an Americana artist, and the song is called You Turned Red. I love it. Can't wait to play it in just a moment. How you doing, Jim?
I'm doing great.
You know, I usually try to avoid politics on my program since we're an entertainment show and live in a very conservative area, but I couldn't pass this one up. Very clever. You have a lot of little ditties like that, don't you?
Well, thanks. And, you know, I really didn't intend it to be political other than poking fun at the partisanship. I mean,
yeah.
I certainly didn't mean it as a, you know, endorsing one side or the other. You know, I probably end up with more humorous songs than I than I can end up using.
You ended up doing an animated video. What did you intend to do that?
We have done an animated video on a song from my first album, which was also a humor song called "It's All Turtles," and that was actually a very fun way to do it. And in a way, it's easier than actually, you know, going and doing the filming of a regular video. So
if you have a good graphic artist,
easier on me.
Yeah. Well, I really like it, and you have an interesting career, interesting background. Where in the '60s and '70s you played in coffee houses, and then you kind of hung it up to become a successful businessman. Are you still in the business world and solely focusing on music now, or are you doing both?
I'm partially in the business world and doing some things in the insurance industry, but what I really enjoy there is I've got, you know, younger people doing the work, and I'm acting as kind of the graybeard mentor. So I don't you know, really have the pressure that somebody in the middle of their career has. So I can, you know, it's fun for me. It keeps me involved. But you know, I don't really spend. I probably spend 20% of my time on that, and then, you know, really enjoy working on the music and you know, some nonprofit activities, but mainly goofing off. playing tennis.
Well, you got a new album coming out in January I'm excited about called Magical.
Yes. And yeah, it's my third album. These take a long time to make. The second album came out just after COVID in 2000, just after COVID hit. And you know, this one, a couple of the songs really I wrote shortly after that album. You know, they're 4 years old or something, but it took me this time to get 10 songs together and to get you know, and then to get everything recorded the way we wanted to get it recorded. I mean, I'm so fortunate that Kip Winger produces my albums, and he's such an amazingly talented guy. So in terms of the production and you know, I mean, when I play, I'm playing with a guitar, you know, guitar sitting at a mic.
Yeah.
and Kip figures out how to put all the different instruments on.
Here comes matinee recording artist Jim Stannard with You Turn Red as our King's Country music clip of the week from Nashville.
Saying you've been good, been giving equal time to that guy just 'cause you could. More than just endorsed him, pulled his lever for him too. You couldn't hide it from me, your blushing face said what was true. You turned red and that made me blue. You claimed the right, so I left you. I'm looking for a candidate, nominate somebody new. You turned red and that made me blue. I found a new girl from my party, a sultry suffragette in red. She is a strict conservative, except when she's in bed. Found her when I was pole watching as she spun adjust her heels, taking low-dollar donations from her text appeal. You turned red and that made me blue. Claimed the right, so I left you. I'm looking for a candidate, nominate somebody new. You turned red and that made me blue. Tried to get her number, it was progress when she asked me to slap a sticker on her bumper. My heart began to race, my thoughts were getting raucous when I harvested her ballot in a private caucus. You turned red and that made me blue. You claimed the right, so I left you. I'm looking for a candidate, nominate somebody new. You turned red and that made me blue. You turned red and that made me blue. You turned red, that made me blue.
In less than 100 years, radio has come a long, long way. We've gone from this to this. Alexa, play King's Country on TuneIn.
King's Country from TuneIn.
And this. Now you can stream us everywhere. Stream King's Country Internet Radio on your PC, smart speaker, mobile device, or in your vehicle with your Bluetooth connection. King's Country is streaming worldwide on TuneIn, iTunes, Live 365, and at kingscountry.net. It rules. Coming up next, Freddie Pate will be in the Royal Spot. Man, how time flies when you're having a royal time. It's the regional record extending 950th episode of the Jim King of the TV show.
Lone Star. Live. November 3rd, 7:30 p.m. Lutcher Theater. On sale now at lutcher.org.
Baby, I'm amazed by you.
Working hard from the sun up to the sundown. They can build it tall, they can tear it on down. They got the know-how, if you got the money.
But we got off-road dump trucks, several Tracos, several dozers, several guys that are very capable of following the plan and getting it done right.
The hands of a working man built this town. Cleared this timber and plowed this ground.
Here's a song off the album that a really good friend of mine wrote, Kelly Jones, or Paul as we like to call him. Him and his wife, late wife Delane, were just and still continue to be just an inspiration, undying support, wisdom, financial advisor, you name it. And I love him like a daddy. And here's a song that he wrote called Awesome in Austin that he's going to pitch to the city of Austin, and hopefully they'll buy it and we'll make it like $1 million. Goes like this.
You might like a little blues music or some funky old soul. Maybe a good old country song or that old time rock and roll. You'll find it in Austin, and you gotta have a long neck beer, a big old glass of Hill Country wine, spread a little cheer. It's so awesome in Austin, where good times are everywhere. Come on down to 6th Street, lose your blues and cares. It's so awesome in Austin, in the Hill Country town. Come on down to Texas, let us show y'all around. You can catch a game or two if you like some football. Eat that good old Tex-Mex food or barbecue for one and all. Of course, there's the music, new sounds and good old songs. Get up and hit the hardwood floor and dance all night long. It's so awesome in Austin, where good times are everywhere. Come on down to 6th Street, lose your blues and cares. It's so awesome in Austin, in the Hill Country town. You come on down to Texas, let us show y'all around. Come on down to Texas, let us show y'all around. Y'all come.
Texas Hot Country Magazine is one of the oldest magazines in the Houston area and affiliated with 2 Houston radio stations, the new 93Q and Country Legends. We target the very lucrative family-oriented country music and Texas music market. Grab the latest issue at TexasHotCountryMagazine.com and check out Jim King of the Road's new column. For Texas Hot Country Magazine advertising rates and information, please contact Leon Beck at 281-702-2242.
Nestled between Beaumont and Lumberton, Texas, is the beautiful Book Nook Inn Bed and Breakfast. It hosts visitors from around the world. Locals love it also as a quick, relaxing getaway from their everyday life. Swimming, fishing, viewing a movie in its unique theater room, and more awaits them at the inn. It's also a premier wedding venue. Many couples have exchanged vows in front of its gazebo or its event room. Book Nook Inn hosts reunions, vow renewals, murder mysteries, and more. We hope soon you'll be our guest at Book Nook Inn.